Like they were in the beginning of the presidential campaign coming at him with every fucking thing in the world. And the guy would get out there in front of all his people. It was like, I'm the best. I've always been the best. No one loves the Bible more than me. And he was able to do that in a way that, you know, a lot of people, I mean, maybe he has a psychotic belief in himself. Maybe he's like literally on drugs. But whatever it is, it's admirable that the guy got through 4 years in the White House and doesn't look like he fucking aged a day. Biden looked like he's aged 100 years in just the first year and a half. I mean, he's so fucking old now. He was old running for president, but he looks older because of the pressure and the stress of the White House. It's kind of admirable that Donald Trump didn't do that. So, like, you can find things, even in people that you think are problematic human beings. You can find things in what they do. And if there's someone that's in your line of work and that person is achieving great success, there is a human tendency, a natural human tendency to be jealous of that person. But instead, be inspired. But you have to make that choice, and you have to recognize that jealousy is 100% a weakness on your part. And it's a matter of self-auditing. You have to be able to audit yourself and say, where's this feeling coming from? Why am I feeling shitty? Like, what is this weirdness? Oh, this is jealousy. Oh, that's a weakness. I have to parse that out.
This is one of the big differences I've found between the US and the UK since moving here. So I've been in Austin for 4.5 months or something now. One of the biggest differences is that in the US, as far as I can see, people really want to celebrate you when you're doing well.
Yes. Yeah, well, I think collectively they do. There's got to be a lot of individuals that don't. But collectively, overall, I think there's more of a tendency to celebrate people here. I have some friends from the UK, and they have similar feelings. Like, when they came over to America, they're like, wow, it's crazy. Like, you're doing well. People congratulate here. Whereas in the UK, they try to keep you down.
Yeah, very much a scarcity mentality. Tall poppy syndrome is a huge deal in the UK.
And Australia as well, right?
Yeah, very much so. As soon as you... I don't know what it is. I wonder whether it's because population density is so much higher. We're waterlocked, so everything kind of feels a bit more insular. There's less stuff to do because the climate restricts us. It's always cold and dark and wet, which means seasonal affective disorder. There's a bunch of different ways, but culturally, the end result is that people just aren't that supportive. And if you start to deviate when you're young and do something a little bit different, it gets beaten out of you very quickly, because the British ability for satire is born out of this fact that there's constant piss-taking happening. And although satire is fantastic, it's not that great at encouraging people to go and do different things and be adventurous. So when you roll the clock forward, what you have is British people have very much got their feet on the ground, probably too much. They probably don't believe that they actually have a capacity that they can go and do things. Now, the converse, I think, in America might be a little bit true. For all that America's a cis, heteronormative, patriarchal superstructure that's misogynistically keeping everyone down, when kids grow up, the American dream still very much is a real deal, I think, and people are told that they can have blue sky vision and helicopter thinking and be whatever they want to be. But the problem that you have is when those people grow up and become adults, and the world doesn't deliver them the thing that they were promised, they feel a delta between where they are and where they could be. They go, hang on a second. I was told that I was going to get the blue sky and the white picket fence and the blah, blah. And especially in a generation now that is the first one ever that's doing worse than its parents, that's going to cause a lot of people to look around and go, there's something wrong here. Structurally, there's something wrong.
That's interesting. Do you think when they say that this generation is doing worse than its parents, obviously that is collectively, right? So how are they looking at that, and how are they making that distinction that this generation is doing worse? Is it they're doing worse financially? Is they doing worse in terms of their ability to buy a home? Like what?
I think that'll be two of the major factors, right? The fact that it's real living wages have stayed static since the middle of the 1970s, something like that, and getting onto the property market at the moment is pretty difficult. But more than that as well, a lot of the things that we used to have, the traditions that we used to have for people, guys and girls, the roles that they used to take, have been outsourced to the state. So if you think about the protector-provider role that men typically would have had, you don't need that so much when you've got a robust legal system and you've got a government that's